Hey folks, it's Amy. I'm on. I am trying to find it on my page. Let me update my page. And we'll find it on our Facebook. And then we'll put it up to the side so I can see all your lovely comments. Here it is. Let me turn the volume off, of course. Okay, volume is down. Phone is over to the side so I can see your comments. If you're here, tell me you're here and say hi. I am gonna kind of have something in mind. It's from a fellow crafter named Christy. I saw her post, and I'm going to do one like she did, not quite, and then I'm going to make it with some different colors from the same suite. I really like this card. I don't have all my blends in front of me to color them, but we'll get them. They're right next to my desk. So I am going to flip you over and we'll get started. Again, if you're here, say hello, tell me hi, and if you're watching this on a replay, like my channel, subscribe. Looking to get my subscribership up, that would be awesome. I'm gonna just play today. I've started working for Bella Vita Rescue, and so in the coming months you're gonna see me do some say anything that you purchase, all of my, or at least 10-20% of my profit will go to Bella Vita Rescue. It won't be a lot, I know, but I want to help the kitties, because we love our kitties. So most of that will happen in August, and I will put up a reminder about that when the catalog goes live, because I still can't show you inside the catalog. But I love the Nature's Harvest stamp set. It's this one. And I love the dies that come with it, but I also like the dies that come with this one, which I'm going to be using today. These guys. These right here. We're going to use those today. So I'm going to flip you over, and we're going to get started. If you're here, again, please tell me you're here. Say hello, like, comment, share, and I'm going to flip you over and we'll get started because I don't have anybody on right now, and I'm late as it is, so, it happens. Let's see. Let's flip you over. Okay, now you're on my desk, and I've got this new trash can, and it says on it, it's so super cute, it says, "Take me meowt." MEOWT. It's so cute. Anyway, I don't have a sample of the card, but I did want to show you the card that I did the watercolor technique for. This is the one I ended up doing. I know I had, let's see, I did this one for you Thursday, and I didn't like it, but it looks good. This is how it dried out, where you could really see it. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the blue up here. So I recreated it, and I came up with this, just so you guys can see the actual card. I will post this on my YouTube channel on how to do this, and I will also post the actual picture. So this is the one I did with that, and I love it. I love the way it came out. It looks so precious and so stinking gorgeous. So our coloring today will be similar to this on our daisy. So let me put that aside, and we're going to just get started. I'm going to start by coloring some daisies and cutting out some items. And I'm also trying to get Christy's page up so I can see. I have most of what we need. We're going to need some crumb cake, some Whisper White. We're going to need our contour dies. We're going to need some Misty Moonlight, some Calypso Coral, and I have some of this beautiful new paper that's from Stampin' Up. It's like on a craft paper, but it looks like corkboard. This is just some pieces that I cut out. This is, I think, 2 by 3 1/4. We're going to use those. I have 2 of those cut out, and these are pieces that we're going to use from the Designer Series paper that comes with this particular suite. This is the opposite side. I'm going to use these colors today. And so this is my base. I'm going to put it on just our basic thick Whisper White cardstock. Or, well, it's actually called basic cardstock, basic thick. So I'm going to start by just layering things down. I've got crumb cake, and we're going to layer this just like this, and we're going to take this one and layer it on another piece of crumb cake. And I'll have dimensions up on the blog once I put this up as a blog post. And we're going to layer this one just like this. Okay? Okay. So, let's see. Created. The stamp set Christy's stamp blog is Create with Christy. This is the one that I really love, and we're just trying to look in the pictures so I can make sure I get what I need and the right diameters. We're also going to do a little embossing. So these two are going to go this way. Let's set these aside because we don't need them again. I haven't even glued them down. We're going to take these two pieces and we're going to die cut them with, let's see, do we want this one? I'm going to kind of look here. Don't think it's this one. Let's see, I'll be able to tell. This dots, this is dashes. We're going to use these two, but we're going to use this one on the crumb cake. This on the crumb cake. So we're going to cut two of these out on crumb cake. Let me go over to my Big Shot and take care of that. Well, it's not a Big Shot. It's a stamp cut emboss machine. I'm going to just cut those out real quick. And we will actually emboss them as well to give it some texture. Because, you know, who doesn't want a little more texture? And then that's our little negative piece. I'm going to throw that one away because it doesn't leave me a whole lot left over. And I'm going to do the same thing with another piece so we can do it for our second card. Because we're going to do 2 cards today. And I just love, if you look at Chrissy's site, she is like the bomb. She put great interest in her background and her pictures, and I just love it. Kudos to her. And here's our other piece. Okay, now I'm going to put this one away. I'm going to pull this one out because that's going to be the next one I need. And we're going to cut these colors out with this one. Okay, I'm going to do one of each. And that one could probably be cut out with our mini stamp cut and emboss machine. And which would be nice for me to be able to show that to you, but I haven't gotten it over here to this side, but you know, it's okay. There's this one. And we're going to do the same thing with our blue. This is again Misty Moonlight. And I try to make sure when I cut them on an angle. That way your machine doesn't have a hard time cutting it and doesn't give you that crickety old sound. Okay, here's our other one. I'll put this away. We're done with these for right now. This piece will lay in here, and I've already got it cut just so it fits perfectly right there. Okay, so I'm gonna put these away. We don't need this one anymore. And now we're going to actually emboss these while we're thinking about it, so we don't forget. Take these two, and we're going to emboss it with the Written Textures. Is what I'm going to use. Let me find it in my madness of things. You could use the new wood one, but I'm going to use this one. This is beautiful. This comes, I think, is in this suite as well. And I may, just may, do not have enough room to do both of them at the same time. So we're going to do each one separately. And let's see how this rolls. Stampin' Up! Keeps changing the way they're doing their embossing folders. So basically that just means changing the company that's doing them. So I never know what sandwiches to use and what sandwiches not to use. And they're like, but it's on the thing. No, it's not. It's never on the thing. It's never right. I never have a good time doing it. So, you know, I digress. That's not it either. So, make sure that's still in there. I'm going to get out another platform. Looking for my gray one. because I have so many platforms, because I've got so many machines, and I don't see my gray platform. That's not good, guys. Alright. I'm here. I promise I'm here. I don't find my gray platform. We're not going to emboss it today. See, gratis. It's not in all of the spots for it to be. That's the little one. I wonder if that'll work, because it's not very big. Put it like this. Let's try this. There, got it to work, I think. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try it this way. Ah, got it, guys. Woohoo! That's why I like doing these things first, but I was running late this morning. And, you know, it happens. So now, because I couldn't find my piece, I'm using my mini piece. Just because my paper is small enough that it works. It's not exactly ideal, but you do what you gotta do. Especially when you're in a time crunch. Alright, I've got them both embossed now. I can set the machine aside for the moment. We're gonna stamp and cut some flowers, but I can do that in a second. Dropping my white pieces of paper everywhere. So now I like to put a little bit of distressing on this. This is beautiful. It's this textured embossing. It's got some typed words, and it's got that divot. I like to put extra color. So I'm going to take my crumb cake. You could use soft suede, would look good with this too, but I kind of want to keep it neutral and a little light. And I'm going to see, do I have, I do not have a Stampin' Up! Blends. They're all in the house, so I'm going to use one of my little blending brushes that I have that are extra. And I'm just going to come over here and just add a little color to it. You can take your ink pad and rub it on there. You could take a blending dauber or a sponge, whatever you have, just to add just a little darkness to it. And actually, I do have a dauber right here. I like daubers better to do this, you know, because it gives it that. Oh, and that's putting too much pink in there. Nope, nope, nope. We're not going to use that one. That one's apparently got a little purple or pink on there, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to go this way, because I know this is clean. I don't want to mess up my card. And we'll make sure we put this one on the coral, because if there is some pink in it, it won't look bad with the coral. Now, I want to make sure that I do the edges, because that's all we're really going to see of this paper is the edges. So, now that we've got that done, I'm going to do the other one. And again, this is just to give it some dimension, a little darkness. It's supposed to look torn and worn and, you know. So I like to make it look torn and worn. You can put color on it. You could crinkle the whole thing up, which would give you the same effect. And then once you would crinkle it, you would add some more color. So it would put those deep lines in it. You know, I love distressing paper. It's just cathartic. You think of that person you just want to smack. And, you know, you get that frustration out. It's kind of like yoga when I was in college. I'd get frustrated with things in life, and I'd go to yoga and we'd have to wedge the clay, and basically wedging the clay was throwing it around on the table and beating it up. It was great. Okay, we've got some color on there. I'm going to put my crumb cake away. And we're done with that. So what we're going to do is this one's going to go here. This one's going to go on this one. Now, I have not glued a thing down yet. Just want you guys to see. this one this way. I'm kind of like my flower's going to cover that up a little bit. This is going to come here. And mind you, we will have a little dimension on this to pop them up. This will go here. Ooh, that does look pretty with the coral. I like it better with the blue. The blue is more my fancy. And this will go here and here. Okay, so we have our bases set. We're going to use a little of this lovely ribbon. This is called Diamond Weave Ribbon. It's also with the set. Now we're only going to go over like this. I'm going to actually trim this off so it will fit around it. I'm going to give it a little extra because I'll wrap it around. And I'm going to do 2 pieces of those, 1 for each card, you know. Now, in my other cards, you've seen me use this, and I've colored it. Today, we're not going to color it. So we've got 1 for each one. 1 here, 1 here. And then we're going to also use some of our little rhinestones that came with this set, which are these, which I used in the last one I did. I'm going to use some of these. So, but I'm not going to do those yet. Set these aside. Again, if you're here and you're watching, please tell me hello. I'd love to know that you're here and what your comments are on the card. Alright, and the next thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiments. Not my sentiments, my flowers. I'm going to use this cone flower right here. And we're going to do it in our Memento ink and stamp it and cut it out. I don't have any cut already, or I would just do that. So we're going to stamp this twice, cut it out, and get my block. Here we go, some Memento ink, which is always right here at the top because I use this the most. Ink this up real well. And we're just going to stamp it twice. And we just give it a little love, a little hold. Now, I learned something the other day in the class I took over the foils. You don't have to mash your stamps down. If it's a good stamp, which Stampin' Up! Stamps are good stamps, you just sit it down. You just put just a tiny bit of a pressure on it, and you let it sit. And kiss the paper, and boom, you got a beautiful stamped image. Now you can see right here I did put a lot of ink on it, but that's okay. It'll be fine. We're going to put some color in there, and it's going to be great. So here's my next stamped image. Just put a little pressure on it and let it love. Maybe just rub over it. No pressure, no wiggle. And poof, you got a good stamp. There you go. We're done. We don't have to do anything else with this ink. You could use the same ink for your thank you. Is the sentiment if that's what you choose. I'm going to leave the sentiment off today because I don't know whether I'm going to use these as thank you cards or not. I'm not sure yet. I love the card. I might just send one to my mom. Who knows? So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to color these. We're going to use, now she used only 2 colors in hers, but I'm going to do a little more coloring. We've got some Calypso Coral, Soft Saffron, and Mango Melody. I think she used Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral. I'm not using all 3 of these, but I will use a variation of those. And then we've got some Mossy Meadow for our stems. Gonna start with our Mossy Meadow, and I'm gonna use just the painter's tip here that you can see. I'm gonna try to move it over here so you can see it. So you see that tip right there. I'm gonna use this one, not the painter's tip. This is just the detailed tip. And I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna do some lines, because if you look at this stamp, there are fine lines in there, and some of them should be dark. You know, like anything in life, it's, you know, not always pure light colors. It's kind of a shadowing. It's nature, you know. So I'm just going to go in where all those little lines are, and not all of them, just put some of this darker color green in here. And not everywhere, just randomly. I'm going to just add some colors in all of my stems, in both of them. And this one is great for the control of it, for this particular stamp, because it's so tiny and delicate. Okay, that should be good at the dark. And now I'm going to come back in with my light one. And again, I'm going to use the same tip because these are narrow spaces that I'm coloring. And I'm just going to come in and color the whole thing. If you get a little on the outside, it's not the end of the world. We are going to cut these out so you won't see all of that mess ups that you've done. And mind you, it is suggested to have a piece of paper behind you while you're doing this because these do bleed. These are the blends. They're like Copic markers. They bleed through. And it's okay. It will be fine if they bleed through. On this, it doesn't go through all that much. So, I'm good. I've done this a gazoodle of times and I've been good so far. But I haven't really colored anything that I've needed tons of ink on, so, you know, or tons of color. Now, using my other alcohol things, it would be totally different. So, let's see. I'm going to try to hurry up and get these colored real quick for you so we can get on to making that beautiful card. Can't wait to see how it looks with Calypso Coral. I've seen it with the Misty Moonlight, and I really like it. And the way she did her photo, the Misty Moonlight, looks like our Pacific Point, which is a bright, happy blue. I love that color of blue. I don't ever find a whole lot of reasons to use it, but it makes me happy. Alright, so I have colored, and as you can see, I have gone out of the lines on this, but it still looks good. We're going to go with that. And now I'm going to take my dark So Saffron, and they only come in packs of 2, light and dark. I'm going to take my dark So Saffron, and I'm going to use the painter's tip. And I'm literally going to cover all of my petals with this. Everything. All about these petals. You could use the other tip as well if you want to make sure you stay in the lines. And I'm not going to be heavy-handed. Just going to cover all of my petals with this. And I forgot to get my cinnamon cider and So Saffron, or cinnamon cider and my soft suede for my centers, but that's okay, we'll get those. Okay. And I'm gonna color this in on this one as well. And we're only gonna do 2 more colors on this, believe it or not. And then we'll put a 4th and final color of this back over the whole thing. Okay, we've done that one. Now we're going to come in with some Mango Melody, and I am going to use the darkest Mango Melody. And I'm going to take this tip again, and I'm going to just go in here at the top and just put streaks coming down from the centers where these little lines are, where it looks like it would be a lot brighter because it's newer petals. And just kind of keep it really small at this one. And we're going to do the same things to the other ones. And you want to keep this top portion right up here really, really bright. You want to be heavy-handed up there. And then just streak down. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with some Calypso Coral. And I'm going to use the dark one of this as well. And I'm going to use the same tip. So I'm going to come in and do a line right at the tip of my cone. And I'm just going to come in with some of these colors and just shoot it off in a flowery pattern. That makes sense. So that the centers are very dark like that. It doesn't have to be even. It can be a little jagged. I will show you what I mean by jagged. See, like that? And you're going to do this around each of the pieces. So you can see that one. And then this one doesn't get a lot because you really can't see that cone, but you want to see that it's got some color coming in. So I'm going to do the same thing on this other flower. It's the center flower here that you're going to spend all the time coloring because it's going to be your focal flower anyway. And they don't have to be the same because, you know, I'm only doing 2 because, you know, I like the colors. But you don't have to do 2 flowers. And you don't have to do 2 cone flowers. You can just do 1 for your project. Okay, I've got that one in and I've got that one in. Okay, so now to get these to blend out a little bit better for me, I'm coming back in with the light So Saffron. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to just blend these. And I'm going to start at that base of the dark color and I'm coming in and I'm blending it out. And I'm not even really going to go all the way out to the tips of these flowers because they really don't need it. They can stay that softer shade. And I know it doesn't seem to look like I've blended it out all them, but they look beautiful. Now let's do these cones. I've done them in cinnamon cider and soft suede. And these are the 2 browns that I have used for this. I take the light cinnamon cider and I color in my little cones. I color the light one all the way. And again, if you get out of the lines, it's okay. We're gonna cut this out. And I do a little on this, just this little brown there at that bottom, because there's not really a cone on that little bitty flower. All right, that's that one. Now this one I am going to use the dark cinnamon cider as well. I'm going to use this pen, and I'm going to just color in here really dark at the bottom, and I'm just going to come in and color where you see some of the very dark pieces in that cone flower. I'm going to color those. I don't know if you could see them. They're more detailed if you're actually looking at the stamp itself. And I'm staying really close to the bottoms and I'm going in and just adding a little bit darker shades. And I do this for all of the cones on the flowers, the little centers. Okay. Then I'm going to come back in with some light, soft suede. And I'm going to use the same detail and I'm going to go towards the bottom again. And just kind of do those darker spots. Again, I want those dark spots to be really dark. Because they are really dark. They're almost espresso colored on an actual cone flower. But when I get done, you will see this is the actually most detailed and real looking part of this flower to me. And then I'm coming back in with the cinnamon cider, and I'm just the light, of course, and I'm just going to kind of blend it all in. And once this dries up really well, it will look great. And I'm just going to do those 4. Okay, now, and you can see I have gone off pretty off. Now we're just going to cut these out. Once they dry up real well and they're dry, the alcohol kind of lightens up and it looks fabulous. So let me get the die cut back out. And we'll cut this flower out. And put all of my little pieces back in my Big Shot, or I call it Big Shot, I can't help myself, in the Scan and Cut Emboss machine. I'm just going to cut this out. I know you want to see me do it. I mean, I could put it over there. It would be great to do that. There we go. Here comes cut number 1. And let's do cut number 2. Cut number 1. Got it all lined up. Let's cut her out. There we go. And we now have cut number 2 done. And cut number 2. See what I mean? You're not going to notice any of the missing that I cut. There we go. All right, let's put these together. Okay. I actually should move this piece so we can put them together at the same time. There we go. And this is going to go like this. This one will go like this. Isn't it gorgeous? You can just see it. It just looks so pretty. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move everything off, and I'm going to start layering it down. I have decided I don't like my tape runner. I used it the other day on something, and it started coming apart. A couple of days later, and I was like, I don't like my tape runner, and I'm not really happy with the Stamp and Seal. So I've just been sticking with the glue. There are some things, tape runners are necessary, but I haven't found a tape runner I'm really happy with. So I just like the fact that I get to move these, and they're permanent once they dry. Okay, so this is done. Now we're going to put this together. The little glue on this. Now this I would need glue because it doesn't really stick with this embossed image really well for some reason. And I'm going to put this down like this. Now I think in Christy's card, she had this as like a flap so that this opened up. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave this like this. I'm going to glue this down with some glue as well. And then we're going to go do the same thing on the other card. She made hers a flip card of some kind. And I liked her outside so much so that I had to do it myself. And then we're just going to place this in the center. There we go. Okay, and I'm actually just going to go ahead and glue this flat because we're going to have dimension here. And we're going to have this down here as well. So well, we may pop this one up. Let's put this down. We're going to go down just like this. And just towards the bottom. I'm going to pop it right here. And I'm just going to wrap it around. This is where I will use my tape runner because it does help me position my ribbons, but then they will get glued down so that they stay in place permanently. And I will take one side, put it down first, flip it, and make sure I've got it right where I want it. There we go. And of course it didn't stay. That's why I don't like my tape runner. Okay, now my tape is down. My beautiful little lace basket diamond, whatever it's called, is down. Now I'm going to put some glue down on this. And I'm going to make sure I put glue here because I want that to stay down. Now there is still some tape runner there, so it will start to adhere really well. I'm in desperate need of some glue. We're going to put this down right here in the center. Okay. Actually, I think it could go up a hair more, but there we go. And this is going to get popped up with some dimensionals. Some dimensionals here. Should be enough to do what we're doing today. One here. Put one towards our middle. And I'm going to cut this one in half. I hope I got it in half. It's already taken off the background of it. Alright, let's get this stuff off of here so we can place this. And I love this paper. This designer series paper that they came out with, this one, is pretty cool. I must say I'm pretty happy with it. And I'm just going to kind of pop this so that it's a little on everything. See? There you go. And then you could put your sentiment right here, depending on what you wanted it to be. But the piece de resistance is some gems. These are called Brush Metallic Adhesive Back Dots. So I'm going to go for gold on this card. I like the gold. And let's see. I think I'm going to move these because I want room for my sentiment there. So I'm going to move this down here. And move this one over here. Just like that. There we go. Okay, that way I can put a sentiment here if I want. So there's the one in Calypso Coral. So let's go and see. Actually, I think I'm going to put some more yellow on these. I think I'm going to go with more mango. Because it's just not bright enough for me. It took that so saffron and just really lightened it up. And I want it to be a little brighter. And then if this doesn't work, we'll add some Mango Melody to this. And because it's already down, it's not going to bleed through our paper, so it's all good. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm not happy with it. How about you? It just seems so blasé. When it looks on that yellow, on this coral paper, it just looks so not bright and cheery. I want it bright and cheery. So if that doesn't work, we're going to get the Daffodil Delight. While I'm letting that dry up, I'm going to put this one together. So I'm going to try to do the wheat going up on this Misty Moonlight Wheat DSP. And if you'd like, I will show you the rest of the Designer Series paper. If you're here, leave me a comment. Let me know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, leave comments and I'll get back to you. There we go. And then we've got this little piece here that we're going to put on, but we're going to put this down first. So we'll start with our craft paper. I love this paper. It's really cool. Really, really cool. Looks like a cork board. Alright, there we go. And now we're going to put this on top of here. Right in the center. And then we'll place this. Place this first. So we'll take our make sure we get enough on there. And we'll wrap this. Now you could put a bow in this. You could do lots of things with this strip of diamond ribbon. That would make you happy. Whatever would work. Alright, and now we're going to make sure we put enough glue on this so this stays. And we'll place this right in the center. And honestly, if you look at Christy's pictures, when I looked at hers, I really thought this paper was the Pacific Point. I just was absolutely positive that it was Pacific Point. Alright, I'm going to get the Daffodil Delight color. And I'm going to use this bright one. And add some brightness to this. And make it really happy. I might even add some more coral or the Calypso Coral to it to pull it and make that a little brighter. Now that I've just yellowed it out. Okay, we got some more yellow on there. Yep, that Daffodil Delight was the bomb. I'm going to take some more coral though. Just add a little bit more to it. Because I yellowed it out, you can't really even see the coral anymore. The shading and the fading of it. There we go. You can on this one just a little bit, but just going to add some more. Come back with that Daffodil Delight. Let's look at the lighter Daffodil. That's Mango Melody. Dark Daffodil Delight. So Saffron. Light Daffodil Delight. Here we go. You can see I use a lot of my light Daffodil Delight. Look at that tip. I probably need to get a new one soon. Alright, there we go. That's as good as the colors are going to get. Now let's get this one on top of our card front so we can see how beautiful it's going to look after I throw away my dimensionals. It's terrible, huh? And then we're going to take one to trim so we can get it on both ends. Cut it in half. We could use the baby dimensionals for this part, but I have these out, so it's okay. There we go. Now we'll just take these off. All right. Here we go. Actually, I probably wouldn't have put that one right there, but it gave it a little bump. And we're going to put our rhinestones on. Well, they're actually brushed metallics. And yeah, I think I'll go with gold on this too, because it just seems to will pop it out a little more. Maybe copper. I don't know. Copper? I'll go with gold. So we'll put one down here. And a big one down here. And we'll put another little one at the top. Call it done. Now these two are just going to go on our basic. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And I'm looking for my bone folder. Here it is. And then we're going to, just bone fold it down. And I'm going to adhere it to the front. And because I've got this all done, I'm actually going to go ahead and put these on here. And then to keep it fun, I'm going to put something on the inside. Because, that makes life fun. You could go all out, and this is actually a little bit bigger than 5 1/2. I wish I'd have known that before I put it on there. Oh well, I'm going to put it on in the middle. And just go back and trim. See? There's always a way around it. Just make sure I put it on them in the middle. There we go. And we'll trim that here in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take my other piece, do the same thing. And I'm going to put this make sure I've got the right side. Put this down on here. Oh, and this turns out to be a little bit too big. So I think maybe I cut that too small. So we'll put it in the corner and then we'll just trim it down. There's always a will, there's always a way. You can see when you make mistakes. Everybody makes them. I guess I did not trim correctly today when I cut my pieces really quickly for you guys. So I cut it off probably by 1/4. Which is okay. So we're just going to run this through the cutter and trim it. Let me go do that real quick. There you go. Perfect. Now on the inside with this, we have this other little flower in here. This one right here. I'm going to take the two stamps that we've got here. We've got this one and we've got this one. This is kind of a splotchy. I haven't used the splotchy, but I'm going to try it out. I'm going to do a little of this crumb cake, which I have right here. And I'm just going to put a little, put the lid on this before I forget. That doesn't fit that one. This one will. We're going to take this. And I'm just going to come in here and just do a little side stamp right there. I really should have stamped off so it would be a little lighter, but it will lighten up. I actually think I'll stamp off for this one. Found a piece of scrap paper I can stamp on. We'll stamp here. And then we'll stamp on the inside. Right here. There we go. Now with these two open, I'm going to take my memento and I'm going to take that other little flower right here and I'm just going to stamp a little flower on the inside. Give it a little shadowy effect. I think it'll look nice. We're just going to go right on top. And see, with this one not being stamped off, you don't really see it that well, so shame on me, but it still looks okay. And this one will go here. There you go. And that's it. I am done with my cards. They need a sentiment. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, so I never tend to put sentiments on them unless I actually have a plan. And I need to send out a lot of cards right now. I have some friends that are not doing well and are hospitalized, and it's just, I'm going to flip you over so you can see my ugly mug. They're just, I have friends that are hospitalized and some that are, you know, just, you're not doing great. A little pick-me-up. So I'm going to probably use some of these for that. But this is my two cards. And I hope you love them. And I hope you think they're great. And I can't wait to blog on them about them for you. I will have all that information in there, and I hope to see you all next week. Again, August, I'm going to be doing card kits if you spend over $50 and use the hostess code. It is a new thing that I've started because I'm not getting free product if people don't use the hostess code to be able to give you card kits. That's how I purchased all those products, to be able to give you those free card kits. So if you're not using the hostess code, I can't get the card kits to you unless I'm using my own personal stash, which I don't mind, but, you know, I keep using my own stash. I don't have any to do myself, and you all know how that feels. It kind of makes you stir crazy. So again, if you do over 150, please don't put in a hostess code. Take those rewards for yourself. But those who do just $50 to $149 orders, use the hostess code. Get some free product for yourself that you wouldn't otherwise get. So I'm going to do my promotion next August. Not only will you get that hostess code, you'll get those card kits, but I'm going to take all of the profits, well, probably be just a portion of the profits, to go to Bella Vita Animal Rescue and help the kitty cats, because there's a kitty cat problem up here, and I want to help the kitty cats. So I've started working with this rescue, and I've met some wonderful people who are just looking to help the kitty cats with no drama. Just help the cats. So anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. I should be back Thursday. You know, we'll see you then. Bye, y'all.